Hello Math 7 students. This is Utah Middle School Math Project 4.1e, comparing unit rates. The main part of this is I want us to have the practice of comparing unit rates. But I do also want to make a connection between finding unit rates and what we can do with them, why they're helpful. And that's why we're going to be comparing them. So to get started for each one of these problems, you can see that we've got a big section here to work with. And it's because we're going to be showing work for two different problems essentially. So start by kind of splitting it almost in the middle, kind of like that. And then we'll have one more smaller section down here, and it will all make sense in the end why we're kind of splitting it up that way. This just helps us organize our work and keep track of everything that we're trying to do. And now we can read the situation, and it says, Jean sells M&Ms to friends at 4 for 5 cents. The machine at the store sells them 9 for 25 cents. Which one is the better deal? To answer these questions, I want us to always find the unit rate. So we need to think for a second about what unit rate is. We did talk about that in our previous lesson. Unit rate means that we're looking for a per one type of situation, which means I want the one, where does it go? Hagen, on the bottom, you got it. So when I set up these ratios, there might not be a 1 on the bottom in the beginning, but our goal is to get a 1 on the bottom. So I have these two different situations. I've got one for Jean, because Jean is selling M&Ms, and I have one at the store. So that's why I've split this up. So all of our work for Jean is going to be done up here, and all of our work for the store is going to be done in this section. And so I read through and it says 4 M&Ms for 5 cents. So I'm going to set up the ratio so it looks like a fraction, but I'm going to make sure it's a ratio by using some sort of label, like 4M for M&Ms, per 5, I'm going to use a cent symbol here, 5 cents. And remember, we're looking for a per 1 type of situation, which means I want to turn this number 5 that's on the bottom into a 1 on the bottom. So, you already know. I haven't even asked the question, you already know, don't you? What am I going to ask? Emma? Yeah, how do I turn that 5 into a 1? And we do that by dividing by 5, which means I need to give this number here the same treatment. And so 4 is also going to be divided by 5. Good thing we have calculators. 4 divided by 5, fast fingers. Let's wait till we have everybody typing in their calculator. Everybody's engaged, everybody's doing the work. 4 divided by 5. Raise your hand once you've typed it in and you know. And we can keep it as a fraction, but for this problem, it's easiest if we do convert it to a decimal. What did you get, Savannah? 0.8. 0.8 M. Now think about what this means. This means if you only have 1 cent, Jean would give you 0.8 of an M&M. Is she really going to cut that M&M perfectly and then give you a piece of an M&M? No, but it gives us an idea of how much we can get for 1. And that's really helpful when I'm trying to compare. So now let's do the same thing with the store. The store sells us 9 M&Ms for 25 cents. So again, I'm setting up the ratio, and I'm setting it up in the same way that I did in the beginning, which is M&Ms on the top and the cents on the bottom. We're looking for a unit rate so that we can compare them. And that means the 25 is going to turn into a 1. Because again, we want a 1 on the bottom. And you already know the question I'm about to ask. So I'm not even going to ask it. We're going to divide by 25, yeah? Which means the 9 gets the same treatment. And now we know exactly what we should type into our calculator. 9 divided by 25. 9 divided by 25. Chandan, what do you get? 0.36. So again, does this mean that if you go to the store and give them just 1 cent that they're going to cut that M&M into a 0.36 of an M&M? Definitely not. But again, it gives us a place to actually compare. So If all you have is 1 cent, because I have 1 cent in each situation, which one is going to give you more of an M&M? Hagen? The store? Take a look again. 0.36 of an M&M? That's almost 0. Or Gene, 0.8, which is almost 1. Think of it this way, 80 cents or 36 cents, which one is bigger? The 80 cents, right? So which one is going to give you the better deal or give you more M&Ms for 1 cent? Gene. And that's what we're doing with this final section down here. We're going to actually answer the question, which is the better deal? Gene gives us the better deal. And how do we know it's the better deal? Because we get more M for 1 cent. More M&Ms for 1 cent. Now, even though the problem doesn't ask this, I still want to do it anyway. What if I have, what if I have 9 cents? How many M&Ms could I get from Gene for 9 cents? So again, I want us to tie this into these equivalent ratios. Now, instead of 5 cents, I have 9 cents. So let's go back to the beginning. Can you change a 5 into a 9 very easily? Not very easily, but that's okay because we already changed a 5 into a 1. Can you change a 1 into a 9 very easily? Yes, we can. 1 times 9 is 9, so we know that this number here needs the same treatment. 0.8 times 9. Good thing we have calculators. We know what to type in. 0.8 times 9 is equal to, Gavin R. Double check. Double check. 0.8 times 9. 9, what did you get? Yeah, 7.2. And so again, is she really going to give us 0.2 of an M&M and kind of cut in pieces for us? No, but it gives us an idea of how we can use these numbers to answer these questions. All right, so the purpose of this activity is we're given 2 different situations and we need to compare them. But it's best to compare them by finding the unit rate. I now want you to pause the video and work on number 2. I'll read it out loud for you and then you're going to pause and work on that situation. Frosted Flakes has 11 grams of sugar per ounce. Interesting. I think we've heard that before. Per ounce, what does that mean? And Raisin Bran has 13 grams of sugar per 1.4 ounces. Which cereal will taste more sugary? So I'm going to split this up again so that I can kind of show my work in an organized way. And again, I'm going to do the Frosted Flakes up here and I'm going to do the Raisin Bran down here. And then here's where I'm going to officially answer that question, which one is more sugary. So we need to find unit rates, and then we need to compare them. In-person students, you guys are going to work with your groups. Online learners, you're going to pause the video and work this out, and then we'll come back together to talk about it. Ready, set, go. All right. Now that you've had a chance to work through it, let's go over it all together. Make sure that we understand the situation. Frosted Flakes has 11 grams of sugar per ounce. So I'm going to put 11g for grams of sugar per ounce. What does per ounce mean? We've seen that before. Good. Like the hands, Jackson? Per 1 ounce. So I'm going to put 1 OZ because that's the abbreviation for ounces. Just putting 1 O wouldn't make sense because that would look like a 10. But OZ tells me that we're talking about ounces. So if this is supposed to be a unit rate, guess what? My goal is to turn it into a 1. Have I done that? Yeah, it's already done, right? So this is even easier than the last one because it already is a 1 in the bottom. So that means all we have to do is focus on RB, Raisin Bran. And that's 13 grams per 1.4 ounces. The goal is to get that 1 on the bottom. How does that happen? How do I change a 1.4 into a 1? Gavin D. We sure do. We divide it by 1.4. And so the top needs the same treatment. And the 13 is also going to be divided by 1.4. And good thing we have calculators because I can't do that one in my head. 13 divided by 1.4. Many of you already did this when you worked with your group. Help me out, Savannah. Sorry, say that one more time. 9.2, and it was a little bit longer, right? But we rounded to just 9.2, and that's fine. 9.2 grams per 1 ounce. So let's compare these. If we're looking at just 1 ounce, which one has more sugar? 11 grams, is that more sugar, or is 9.2 grams more sugar? Chandon? Frosted Flakes has more sugar. And if you've tasted those cereals, you're not surprised by that, are you? Yeah, Frosted Flakes has more sugar. Frosted Flakes will taste more sugary. Let's refocus, please. Frosted Flakes will taste more sugary. So now I have another question for you. What if I pour myself a 4-ounce bowl of cereal? And I'm eating Raisin Bran because I'm an adult and that's what adults do. They eat the non-sugary cereals. 4-ounce bowl of cereal. How much sugar will I be eating? So again, the goal now is to turn the ounces that was 1.4 into a 4. Do you know how to change a 1.4 into a 4? But do we have to go that route? No, because we already turned the 1.4 into a 1. Can I turn a 1 into a 4? And I do that by multiplying by 4. So this number gets the same treatment. 9.2 multiplied by 4, help me out. That was really quick calculations. Sam? 36.8 grams of sugar. So if I have a 4-ounce bowl of Raisin Bran, I'm still going to be eating 36.8 grams of sugar. Okay, again, we can use those unit rates to help us answer other questions and solve problems. All right, let's move on to the next one. The hardware store sells 4th of July sparklers for 19 cents each. The fireworks stand charges 85 cents for 4. Where would you purchase sparklers? So again, I'm going to split this up so that I have a place for each of the work situations and then another spot down below for the answer. And we can see that we have the hardware store. And this is the fireworks stand. So as I set this one up, we have the sparklers, 19 cents each. Listen to what that says, 19 cents each. That means I already have a unit rate. 19 cents each means for 1 firework. I'm going to use F for firework. And my goal is to turn this into a 1 on the bottom, and that's why I see that I'm already done, because that 1 already is a 1. So I don't need to take any steps there on the hardware store selling fireworks. But let's take a look at the fireworks stand that charges 85 cents for 4 fireworks. And so again, we know the goal is to turn a 4 into a 1, because we always want that 1 to be on the bottom. So the 4 changes to a 1 by dividing by 4, and this 85 will also be divided by 4. 85 cents divided by 4 is 21.25 cents. All right, so which one is a better deal? We're each looking at 1 firework for each one. 1 sparkler, I should say, not firework, 1 sparkler. And 19 cents for that 1 sparkler, or 21.25 cents for 1 sparkler. The hardware store is definitely cheaper because 19 cents is less than 21.25 cents. So me personally, I'd rather buy my sparklers, my fireworks, at the hardware store because they are cheaper. Now, this next one is going to be the last one that I do on video. The rest of them I want you to complete on your own, but on video, this is the last one, and I want to go over it because we see something a little bit different than we've seen in the past. It says ribbon is 5 meters for $6.45, or 240 centimeters for $3.19. So need you to take a look at the units here. If I'm going to set up these problems in the same way that I've set them up in the past, we're going to use that ratio and we're going to use the units of measure, and that's going to be the clue here. Okay, we can get, I'm just going to call this situation 1, which is 5 meters for $6.45. Situation 2 is 240 centimeters for $3.19. And here's what I want you to pay attention to. Here we're using meters. Here we're using centimeters. This is going to be really hard to compare these ratios to even figure out the unit rates and to compare them when we're looking at different units of measurement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first convert the meters, or the 5 meters, into centimeters. And this is something that I do hope that you already know. You should be able to understand that 100 centimeters are in 1 meter. So how many centimeters would there be in 5 meters? Well, we can use our ratios here. The 1 changes to a 5 by multiplying by 5, so I should be doing the same thing here. 100 multiplied by 5 would be 500 centimeters. So before I even find the unit rate here, I'm going to change this meters into centimeters. 500 centimeters for $6.45. And now we are dealing with the same units, centimeters and centimeters, and dollars and dollars. And now that we're dealing with the same units, this is going to be a lot easier to compare those unit rates. So again, our unit rate means that we're really trying to figure out what that means with the 1 in the bottom. So how much ribbon can I buy for $1? So we know that that $6.45 will change to a 1 by dividing by 645. So we need to give that top number the same treatment. 500 divided by $6.45 is equal to 77 point, and there's more decimals, but I'm just going to stop at the tenths place, 77.5 centimeters of ribbon for $1. The next situation, we're going to change that dollar, or that $3.19 into a 1. How do we do that? We divide by itself. So this number will be getting the same treatment, and we will be dividing by 3.19. 240, typing this into my calculator now, divided by 3.19 is equal to 75.2 centimeters. Let me change the color on that one. So let's compare. Which one would you rather? If you have just $1, you can get 77.5 centimeters for that $1, or you can get 75.2 centimeters for that $1. I personally would like a little bit of extra ribbon for that same $1 price, so I would prefer the 5 meters of ribbon. So I would buy the 5 meters of ribbon instead of the 240 centimeters of ribbon, because it is a cheaper price. In other words, I'm getting more ribbon for $1 than I am here. That's how I know it's a cheaper price. Okay, the rest of this you are going to be completing on your own. So we do have the remaining problems here, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and you are going to complete those on your own. I will provide an answer key, but I am not going to continue working out these problems on the video. So this is the end of the video. Your assignment to turn in is to complete the rest of these problems. That's it for today. We'll see you next time.